Mayor Bloomberg, your police officers do not need to be retrained on how to be better police officers, nor is the chokehold the issue. The issue is that you lack humanity, empathy, and compassion for the black man and the minority. The issue is that you need to be trained on how to be human. The issue is that you use the judicial system to inflict fear so that the minority would surrender to fear so that you can appear to be superior when you are not. Because if there were no judicial system and we were left to govern or politic ourselves, we understand that the better man will win. The issue is, as I've said previously, that you need to learn how to be humane. Peace. Peace, people. It's me, Arlene J. Ramsey, CEO and founder of Everyone Let's Talk, also your favorite self-wealth mentor. Of course, by now, many of you have heard that Eric Garner's death has been ruled as a homicide. I'm not so concerned with the ruling because, of course, anyone with a bit of common sense knows that that was a homicide. So, whoop whoop. I'm more concerned with the fact that we haven't learned how to be proactive, prevention, and intervention. That means that you have to know what to say, how to say it, when to say it, and why you are saying it. And it all starts with being politically correct. That means that no ebonics, no yelling, shouting, screaming, irrationalism. That's not going to work. We have to learn how to be logical in times such as this, so you can think clearly to know what to say, when to say it, why you're saying it, and how you are going to say it. All right. You have to remember that you are dealing with a judicial system that is totally against you, and you are dealing with people who know that. And when something like this happens, you know that the officers will not serve any time. They will not get any type of punishment that we think that they should get. So why should we sit back and do nothing? Now, the gentleman who recorded everything, you know, that was a great thing. But what about the onlookers? What about the onlookers? All right, you guys are gonna have to come out of this way of thinking. Oh, I don't have to talk professional. That's you sound like you're white. I don't have to this or I don't have to that. You know, it shows. It's a reflection of how you think when you are unable to handle yourself in times when you're faced with police or law enforcement. It shows, and we cripple ourselves over and over again. So at some point, we're going to have to learn how to backtrack and do things opposite to what we have been doing. It is time we do that. All right. The next person I want to talk about is Mrs. Stewart. Yeah, Denise Stewart, a 48-year-old grandmother who was arrested from her apartment in Brownsville, New York. Apparently, someone made a 911 phone call. Police officers got to her apartment. She apparently came to the door in a towel. Excuse me, answered the door, told the officers, oh, wrong apartment, and attempted to shut the door. When she attempted to shut the door, they pushed the door open, grabbed her out. All her children are coming out. They maced the kids. She's just naked, towel all over the place. It was nothing but a disgrace. Mrs. Stewart and anyone else who does this, I would have to say that you are wrong in your approach in handling the situation. All right. Although it was the wrong apartment, you don't shut the door in anyone's face, especially law enforcement, because that comes off as being disrespectful. They were still there. So the proper way to handle that would be, oh, you have the wrong apartment. Are you done? Any more questions? And if they said yes, they have more questions. Well, you know what? Do you mind if I put some clothes on? Because, you know, I have nothing on but this towel. I would like to get something on and come back and answer your questions. By that time, of course, they may want to wait in your apartment, but so what? If they've gotten the wrong apartment, you have absolutely nothing to fear, right? So now, I'm not saying that you deliberately wanted to be disrespectful. There's many of us who blatantly have no respect for police officers, and I understand it. And then there's too many of us who are afraid of police officers. So your fear may have caused you to shut the door in their face, which may have appeared to be disrespectful towards them. Because you do have to understand that they are working for the law. They got a 911 phone call, and your answer did not satisfy them for them to say, okay, ma'am, you have a good day, and turn and leave. So you had no right to shut the door in their face. And then it causes a big melee, and this is what happens. So let me tell you guys something. You have to remember that you're dealing with a system, as I said again, who are totally against you. You know, Mayor Bloomberg, your police officers don't have to be retrained on how to be police officers. They need to be trained on how to be human. All right? This is an inhumane situation. And we've been dealing with this for years. This is 2014. And you mean to tell me that when it comes to being approached by law enforcement, always come out in a compromising situation? I don't want to say always, because that's an absolute. But many times, you know, we're coming out the losers. Okay, do you understand what it is that we're doing to each other? Do you understand what you're doing to yourself when you don't learn how to be politically correct? When you don't learn how to be logical? When you don't learn to have a sense of urgency, how to be proactive, how to be preventative, how to intervene? It is a skill. It is a skill. You maintain your stance and you say words. Oh, you're going to kill him. You're laying him on his stomach. He wouldn't be able to breathe. He's saying he's not breathing. Are you human? You have to say certain things to shock their memory, to jog them out of this animal instinct that they have. Because as I watch the recording, going back to Eric Garner, I can see the adrenaline rush. And it reminds me of what people do when they go out and kill lions and tigers and then cut the head off and take pictures next to it. Or just take pictures next to a dead animal. It's like a prize to take down a black man. It's like a prize. So the adrenaline rush triggers off an animal instinct within the man of the other ethnic background. And it's like there's no balance. There's no cutoff point. And you keep going and you keep going until you see death. I need you guys who are listening to understand that. It is an animal instinct that has been triggered off, and it is your responsibility to untrigger that animal instinct, because you are not going to sit there and watch another black man die in front of you by the hands of law enforcement. Say something logically, sensibly. We have been going through this for too long. When is it that police officers will uphold a black man without killing him, or without using excessive force, or without using abusive force? What are they going to do? Lock you up for speaking? And if they arrest you for speaking, so what? There comes a time where you will have to go down but be alive for being right and making sure you save someone else's life and you start to make a difference in this world. And until you do that, you will always be begging, crying, and complaining. It's time you tighten up. You hear what I'm telling you? Peace.